We've got a spooky, surprising matchup in the top 5 of the Prem and a frighteningly important Basque derby in La Liga.
It's top 5 matches galore. Serie and Bundesliga both have 4 of the top 5 going head to head. Going to see some good football this weekend to eat all of your leftover candy for. So let's get into it on this episode 98 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. Snooze, kick us off.
Let's dig in. Welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we got the full fam today on this Halloween Eve, or All Hallows Eve, as they would call it in some places of the world, I'm sure. Of course, that means we have Brainiac J-Fam in the back, Danny P on the ones and twos, and of course, my spookingly looking good friend, Hype Man Vic. What you sipping on?
Well, today... fright-en-ing-ly, what I got. I was feeling, I don't know what it is about Halloween, but it like makes me think of like purple as well, as much as like orange and stuff. So of course I put on the Fiorentina fit, and then I went and got my purple label here, Dalmore 12-year sherry cast that I'm going to be sipping on. It's a Scotch, 12 years in, and it was aged in a sherry cast. Absolutely delicious, and single malt and everything. So while I take a frighteningly good sip of this. Okay, now I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, see?
I'll go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. It's the best way to tell YouTube, hey, these guys are pretty cool. Maybe you should listen to them as well. So cheers, everyone.
Yeah, and stick around. We got a lot of good content today. We're going to be covering Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, and the Prem, all the matches coming up. And like we said, there's a lot of good ones coming this weekend. But before we get to any of that, we have to first start off with boots on the ground for the Austin FC Minute.
Well, we just couldn't do it. Austin FC fall to LAFC 2-1, but technically with our own goal, we scored 2 and they only scored 1. So I think we should have took that away, but Austin actually looked pretty good as far as like the dynamic duo for LAFC have looked recently. We pretty much shut them down. We held LAFC to 5 shots on goal, which is insane because I'm pretty sure Boanga and Son usually score 5 goals. And both of their goals that they had were off of deflections. So they didn't even get like a clear shot. I think Son got like a couple of clear shots that Stewart came up big for. You can't hold down Son for very long. So he did dribble a couple times around us, made it look pretty stupid, looked really good. But I think we did pretty good. It was good momentum. If we would have kept him to that one own goal, I would have trusted Brad Stuver way more than Hugo Lloris in a shootout, because it would have went straight to penalties. And I thought we were going to be good, but didn't happen that way. They got another deflected goal, which probably was offside, but we're just going to go ahead and not even take a look. And hats off to them. We play here Sunday at 7:30, I believe. Is that what it was? Snooze? I think it was
7:30. Yeah.
So hopefully we get the win. We go back to LAFC next week. But yeah, we will be here Sunday to watch the playoff game, the second year that we've been in the playoffs, and hopefully we get the win and force a game 3.
That would be amazing.
I think we can do it. We play a back 5 against them, and it's been pretty good. So Gallagher has been putting people in their back pocket, so it's nice.
Let's find out. Sunday, we'll be there, and
yes,
I hope to see you too. And of course, as always, if you see Hype Man, not me, Hype Man, and he'll buy you a beer.
Boy.
He'll buy you a beer.
Boy.
Still waiting for that first one.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, let's jump in because we got a lot to discuss. Maybe some awards to give out. To be TBD. Let's do it. Let's first jump in to Italy.
Let's do it then to Serie A.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of good matchups in Serie A this weekend. Obviously, we can't put them all, and you won't be able to watch them all. So we're going to highlight them at the end after we've talked about all the matches in our top matches, of course. Spoiler alert, I bet you can probably tell as we're going through them, Vic. There's a lot of good stuff to watch here. And we had a midweek madness to go over really quick. Not going to talk about it in depth too much. Just a couple of things that I saw. The main one, Vic, and this wasn't the first match to happen in chronological order, but is our Fiorentina got beat 3-0 by Inter, and red card, and it was not a good time for our Fiorentina. Let's talk about the other results. I'm getting to that page here. Yes. Napoli get the 1-0 win over the Milkmen. Atalanta and Milan draw 1-1. Como getting back into the swing of things with the 3-1 win over Verona. Y'all know I like me some Nico Paz. Other matches of note, nothing crazy. Parma ends 2-1 to Roma. Bologna 0-0 with Torino, hey, don't look now. They're starting to come up. And, of course, our Lazio today, 0-0 with Pisa after beating, who did they beat last week, Vic?
Juventus.
Juve. They got their coach fired. Yeah, so they beat Juventus 1 week, and then they draw with Pisa 0-0 the next week. That is just not a good spot to be in. So that was the midweek madness as far as the highlights go. But, Vic, we have a whole nother slew of matches to get into.
Let's do it. And we'll start on Saturday, actually, as Udinese welcome Atalanta.
Atalanta desperately need a win as they have drawn the last 5 matches in Serie A. Udinese will put up a fight, but they can be beaten, as Juve showed this week. Let's see if the AT aliens can come through with 3 points.
And then we have a top 5 matchup that's going to go on right after this. It's Napoli taking on Como.
Napoli stayed top of the league after match day 9 with the win over the Milkmen, and they've now fully avoided the crisis mode that it felt like they were headed for before beating Inter last weekend. Como, although they haven't done a ton of winning lately, they haven't lost in a while in Serie A, and with the win over Verona, they have some momentum heading into this match. Spoiler alert, we might be talking more about this one in a sec.
And then our next matchup has 2 teams that are knocking on the door of European places, and that's Cremonese welcoming Juve.
Juve finally get a win, and who would have thought that Yildiz and Vlahovic scoring would lead to 3 points? Everyone. We all did. But it's great news for a team trying to get back on the up to the upper echelons of the Serie A table. But it is bad news for Cremonese, who got their first win in a while over Genoa midweek.
And then we move on to Sunday as Verona are trying to get out of the relegation zone, but it's going to be a tall task as they face Inter.
Inter already got back to winning ways as they whooped up on Fiorentina earlier this week as they take on the woeful Verona, who are just a point above the relegation zone at the moment. Should be straightforward here. We'll see.
And our next matchup has a newcomer coming, or one of our newly promoted teams, Pisa, going on the road to Torino.
Torino will look to keep things going as they're in a decent run of form at the moment, and it's Pisa who are their next challenge. Pisa have drawn back-to-back matches, which is good for them since they've done a lot of losing lately, but they've still yet to win a Serie A match. Torino, they are a tough team, and they're streaking, as I said earlier, so we'll see if they can get that win.
And then we have Fiorentina trying to get out of the relegation zone as well, and they welcome the Milkmen.
Vic, this is it. This has to be the chance that Fiorentina have been waiting for as they played 4 of the top 6 teams in a row and now get Lecce, who've lost back-to-back matches and are close to Fiorentina at the bottom of the table. If Fiorentina can't get their first win here, then they might really be doomed. I don't think they are, but it has to be a win this weekend.
And our next matchup is 2 teams that really need some points. It's Parma welcoming Bologna.
Parma are in a bad run of form in Bologna. While they haven't done a ton of winning lately, they're still unbeaten in the last 5 and looking to continue their climb up the table. Could be a great opportunity for them to get 3 points here.
And then it's number 2 versus number 3. We have Roma going on the road to take on Milan.
It's a top 4 matchup when Roma go to San Siro to take on Milan. Milan have drawn back-to-back matches. This means that Milan will be looking for a bounce back of sorts as they need 3 points to stay in title contention. While Roma have won 4 of their last 5 in Serie A, it's not always pretty when Gasparini's men take the pitch, but it is effective as hell, and they'll be pushing Napoli for the title if they can get a win here.
And then we move on to Sunday as Genoa are going to be fighting for their lives as they go on the road to take on Sassuolo.
If Genoa lose this match against a promoted side, they are as good as gone in terms of relegation. I don't know how much more grace Patrick Vieira is going to get with the bad results starting to stack up. They need a win badly.
And then we end our match day with a mid to lower tier or table fight as Lazio welcome Cagliari.
Our Lazio have quietly only lost once in their last 5 Serie A matches, and they get Cagliari at the Stadio Olimpico. These are the type of matches that Sarri needs to be able to win to turn things around for Lazio if they're going to get back on track this season.
And those are your matches for match day 10 in Serie A. There's going to be some pretty important ones there, and there's some teams fighting for points, but for way different reasons, trying to stay out of relegation, trying to get into European spots. It's going to be a really good weekend, and I'm pretty excited for it. But one of the main, or two of the main matches that we are going to be watching, we'll go over right now in your No Business Soccer podcast, top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 10. And then we start with number 1, of course, the champions Napoli welcoming Como.
It's a top 5 matchup when Como head to Napoli this weekend, and both clubs are in great form coming in. Napoli are the reigning champs. Como are the disruptors growing into a Serie A mainstay, but can they start to take points from the powerhouses of Italian football? This is the question that we'll find the answer to this weekend.
Yeah, Napoli have lost twice in the past 6 games, so Como have not lost at all. A couple of draws, more wins, and I don't know. We'll see who has the hotter hand going into this weekend.
That's why the win over Verona was good, because as for as much for the fact that they haven't really lost much, they definitely haven't been winning as much as I thought they should have. So it's good to have a win going in your belt in this one.
Yep, and we will go ahead and move on to our second matchup that we're going to be watching for, and that is Milan taking on Roma.
Gasparini has taken this Roma side from a fringe top 4 side to title contenders in his first season, and he could get a statement win over Milan at San Siro on Saturday. But Milan are in the top 4 for a reason, as they haven't lost in Serie A since match day 1. Crazy.
And Roma just lost 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, we're going to see who's more in form. I don't know if you can call draws form, like being in form, but it's better than losing, right? Better than losing.
I saw Roma in midweek, like I was telling you, they beat Parma, I believe it was 2-1. And I was actually excited because they scored more than a goal. But no, it was they haven't scored more than 2 goals at all this season. That's what. So yeah, we need a little bit more from them,
Yeah.
And side note, this is kind of breaking the fourth wall. I've been my lips have been dry, so I've been trying this Nivea. This is not sponsored. But dude, it's like I can taste it. It tastes gross. It's not even a flavored one, so it just tastes like medicine. It's so nasty. It's not good.
Why did you get that? Why didn't you get a flavored one?
This is my wife's. This isn't mine. I just came into my office and she was using my
that's
desk.
Right. Don't buy it.
Yeah. Wait, do I have a flavored one in here somewhere? Let's see.
You should. You're complaining that much about it.
I need to. I'm gonna go get me a cherry flavor, or I don't know. Something. It tastes gross. Anyway, all right. Anything else in City?
No, those were your top matches and headlines for City on match day 10. I am all good, Snooze. Anything else you want to cover?
No, that's it. I'm looking forward to Napoli and Como so much. I want to see if Napoli they've taken on some good teams, but this is the mainstay right here. This is the powerhouse, the champs. Can't wait to watch it. Okay, let's do it. Let's go on to Germany.
Let's do it to Bundesliga.
And it's a weekend that we get a couple of great matches in the top 5 for the Bundesliga as well. It's like, man, I've been waiting for that, because there's been like one match a week, that's kind of good, but 2 and then a couple other ones that I'm looking forward to. It's gonna be an interesting Bundesliga weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk to them. Let's go over the whole match day first. It's going to be Bundesliga match day 9, and it starts on Friday as Borussia Dortmund go on the road to take on Augsburg.
Dortmund will look to make it back-to-back wins after falling to Bayern, with Augsburg welcoming them to Bavaria. Oh, you like how I put that? Bavaria. I don't think there's much that Augsburg can do here, especially Dortmund firing on all cylinders how they are now, but we'll see. Every time I say that, I feel like something happens.
And that's the only match for Friday. We move on to Saturday. And if you think it's Bayern Munich and then everyone else, these are the top 2 of everyone else. Leipzig welcoming Stuttgart.
That is exactly right, Vic. A top 3 matchup between 2 teams that are on ridiculous runs of form and haven't been beaten in a long time. The difference, I think Stuttgart, with a win here, could actually be title challengers, as they have yet to face Bayern. Of course, they might face Bayern and then Bayern beat the hell out of them. We don't know. But Leipzig are on a tear, and I don't think anybody saw this coming after they got beat 6-0 by Bayern in the first week. But they've been second in the table for a while, and they've been beating up on everybody they've faced so far. Of course, they drew with Dortmund, but either way, just a great run for them. They'll need to put an end to the hot Stuttgart to continue their win streak, though. This one is going to be awesome.
And then our next matchup has Eintracht Frankfurt going on the road against the relegation-threatened Heidenheim.
Eintracht finally start to steady the ship with a win over St. Pauli last weekend, and they get another struggling side in Double H as they look to stack up some wins. Double H are, at this point, almost for sure going to be one of the worst teams in the league and fighting to stay up, so Eintracht Frankfurt should get a win here.
And then our next matchup is a mid-table battle as Union Berlin welcome Freiburg.
Two struggling table neighbors go head-to-head here. I love the table neighbor fights. But it's Freiburg who've been one of the more disappointing sides this season with only one win in their last 5 Bundesliga matches. Union at home is a tough out, but Eintracht must be able to beat Freiburg must be able to beat a team like Union if they're going to be back in Europe next season.
And then our next matchup has Mainz welcoming Werder Bremen.
Mainz have lost 4 in a row and are seriously flirting with relegation at the moment, and seeing a mid-table Bremen side that haven't lost in 3 matches coming into their house doesn't sound good. I'm sure Bremen will look at this as 3 points in the bag, but for Mainz, they have got to get it going.
And our next matchup has 2 teams pretty much out of form, only 1 win over the past 12 combined. It's St. Pauli welcoming Mönchengladbach.
The only thing that might be able to help St. Pauli stop their slump of 5 straight losses is a visit from bottom of the table, Gladbach. They've been the worst team in the league by far, and if St. Pauli can't beat them, they might just join them at the bottom.
And then we have our champions, Bayern Munich, welcoming the recently never losing Leverkusen.
It's one of the only other matchups on the schedule that could be a test for Bayern as Leverkusen go to the Allianz Arena. Leverkusen have been very consistent in the league, but Bayern are looking like a European powerhouse at the moment. And we know what happened to Leverkusen the last time they played a European powerhouse, Vic. It was like 7-2 against PSG.
Yeah,
something like that.
Pretty bad, yeah. But that was our last matchup for Saturday. We move on to Sunday as Hamburg go on the road to take on our cute little mascot, Cologne.
Two promoted sides go to battle, and neither side have been great recently and are looking for a win. Cologne started off hot, but results have tailed off a bit. But a win here could get them right back where they want to be and where we want them to be.
That is right. And then we end our match day as Wolfsburg welcome Hoffenheim.
Hoffenheim are looking like a team that will challenge for Europe at the moment, and that's bad news for a Wolfsburg team who finally won after losing 4 straight in the Bundesliga. It's a tough task for Wolfsburg, but if Paul Simonis is going to stick around long-term, they need to be winning against clubs like Hoffenheim.
And those are your matches for Bundesliga match day 9. We're getting to that point, man. Those relegation battles are becoming more and more significant. The top, well, maybe not the top. Top one's pretty much sealed. But everyone else trying to get a European spot up there in the top 4 or 5. It's getting
we'll be a quarter through the season after this match day. So we're getting close.
Yeah. But those are your matches. We're going to go ahead and give you the No Business Soccer podcast top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 9. And of course, we start with number 1, Leipzig versus Stuttgart.
Of course it was going to be this one. Stuttgart are the only team as hot as Bayern in the last 5 Bundesliga matches, and they get their first big test in a while as they travel to take on Leipzig. It's second against third. Neither side has lost in 10 combined matches. I'm stoked for this one. I'm excited. Let's go VfB.
Let's go VfB. Trying to at least get some points shut out or close down that gap that is Bayern Munich. That's crazy.
The next match we're going to talk about, I'm sure you could look at the schedule and know which one is going to be the other headline matches, top matches. You know what I'm saying? Either way, headlights. But like Stuttgart, they have to be a powerhouse because we're losing out on challengers real quick.
Yeah, we are. And speaking of losing out on challengers, the next matchup, number 2, is obviously our champions, Bayern Munich, taking on the newly never losing Leverkusen.
Some call it the original Der Klassiker, but either way, no team in any competition have been even close to beating this Bayern side. Does Leverkusen fold up like they did when they played PSG, as we just talked about, or are they going to take the game to Bayern? This might be the last chance to see if Bayern have any legitimate title challengers in the Bundesliga outside of Stuttgart, as we just mentioned. But man, Leverkusen, they're up against the wall. But if they can get a point here, even that would go a long way to making the Bundesliga, as far as the title challenge goes, or the title race, more not important. What's the word I'm looking for? More
significant.
Yeah, close, I guess. Like just more interesting because I don't know, Bayern, I feel like they're running away with it. Wow.
Yeah, and it looks like already they're 5 points. Well, we know what happened to the last team that was 5 points ahead on the table, but they're 5 points ahead on the table, haven't lost in the last 6 at least. Looking great, and I know Leverkusen, you got to take advantage of this. You're gonna have the most support that you've almost ever had over Germany and the world trying to take down Bayern Munich. So take advantage of this. Let's put on a show. Let us see how you do. And yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah,
it'll be fun.
Anything else?
Yes, the other thing I was going to mention, 2 things actually. Your little Cologne shirt. I need to put a reminder because I'm going to get you something when we're there. Like it's got to be a little like.
I'll definitely remind
you. A mug or something. Okay, you remind me. Okay, good. I need to know. But so this match, Mainz versus Werder Bremen, I was looking at prices because I was like, man, Mainz have been pretty bad lately. And I'm going to be close to there whenever we go in December. Maybe I can get in, like scoop up some tickets, go see them play. I think it's Gladbach. So I was just trying to see, like, get a feel for it. Very bad team versus mid-table team. It can't be that packed. No, there's 0 seats available for this match. Like every single one of them is taken. I was just trying to do 2 like next to each other, and that's not a thing. There's no seats left for this. So my supporters, man, y'all are doing the damn thing. It's definitely fun. That's why I want to go see a Bundesliga match because the tickets, because they're like, what is it, like 49 or 51 to 49? I don't know. There's a rule where they have to be at least half owned by fans. So every team is owned, and so all the tickets go to fans. And then if there's fans, and then there's the ones that have season tickets, and then it goes to the club supporters, and then it goes to resale after that. But I guess even for the smaller clubs, it doesn't get there. I've heard there's a couple teams like Wolfsburg and a couple other ones I can't remember that don't sell out every game. But apparently Mainz is they have some avid fans. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Anyway, disappointing. For me, but cool for them.
Seems like it. I think every Bundesliga match I see, the crowd is just going absolutely insane. So
crazy.
Power to you.
Okay. All right. That was it for the Bundesliga. Vic, I think let's move on now to Spain.
Let's do it. To La Liga.
And before we jump into the matches, Vic, we are a quarter through La Liga and working on some quarter awards here. Because what we'd like to do, because we have this show all season, we'd like to stop at the quarter mark, smell the roses, take a deep breath, and kind of enjoy it as it comes. And remember where we were at these times. So these quarter awards for La Liga, as they've hit the 10 match mark. So of course there's not 40 matches. So it'll be 10, 10, 10, and then 8. But for the first 10 matches, we're done. You like that math there?
That's pretty good.
We're going to talk about, I've only got 3 awards to give out right now. If we think about more later, we're only going to be 1 match day over the quarter. So it's fine. We can talk about it still. But Vic, we're going to start off with the surprise team of the Bundesliga, the first quarter. I know that a lot of people were probably expecting me to go one way, but I'm going with none other than Espanyol, because Espanyol have been, yes, there's one more that I know we'll probably talk about. We might differ on it even, but Espanyol have gone from a team that were flirting with the relegation fight last season to being, they were top 4. They were above Barca for a while, and then, of course, the Barca caught them. But I was listening to the Athletic podcast, and they were saying that it was a big deal for that one day that Espanyol played, because I think they played Saturday or something like that. They played the day before Barcelona, so they ended up being 4th in the table when Barca was under them. And it was the first time, even if it was for a day, it was the first time in 35, maybe even longer years that had been even remotely possible. And so, yeah, Espanyol just doing the damn thing right now. I was trying to pull up. Let's see. They're in the table. They're number 5 right now. Yes, they're 5 right now. But let's see. the season before finished 14. Season before that, they finished looks like they weren't even in the league. They were relegated. So there you go. That's this Espanyol side. They go from relegated 14th to now being in the top 5. Very cool. And they're a surprise team. They're the surprise team for the quarter awards. So congratulations, Espanyol. Vic, do you differ?
I do differ. And
okay.
I only differ because can you guess what rank my team was last year? Just guess.
I imagine I know what team it is, so they weren't in La Liga.
Exactly. Of course it's Elche. I don't know how you think of anyone else. There's been so much pressure on every single promoted side all over the world, and you don't pick Elche? How dare you, sir? Elche are sitting 8th right now. They were up in the European European competition spots earlier this year, and they are doing amazing. They're starting to fall off a little bit, but right now, my most surprising team of the year.
I think because I saw Espanyol beat them, and that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it to them. But you're right. Espanyol, if you put them, I bet they would probably win the poll. So yeah, that's fair. I'll take that L. The disappointing team award, that is going to go to none other, for me, I don't want to say it for both, but Real Sociedad, for sure. It was Sevilla at the end of last season, but it is Real Sociedad through the quarter of this season. They have just been absolutely terrible. They were terrible to end last season, but we didn't know if it'd stick. And I don't know what needs to change or what needs to happen, but they aren't scoring goals. They look like they are just struggling to go out there. And being one of the bigger teams in La Liga, they're just dropping points left and right. They should be a lot higher than they were. I think, let's see, I want to make sure that I'm correct before I say it. They won this past weekend. Okay, so they have 2 wins out of the first 10 match days, which is just insane for a team that's this big. And they got their first win, or they have 2 wins in the last 5 matches. So, I mean, obviously we're 10 matches in, so they didn't win any of the first 5. Obviously, that's math, right? It just sucks that this team is so bad. That's the Basque Derby is this weekend, though. So, you know, if they can stack up some wins, might be turning things around for next quarter.
Well, again,
do you differ?
We do differ again, because my most disappointing team that we have at this quarter mark is Girona. Girona ended 16th last year, and they have only gotten worse. They are below a newly promoted team, which is Oviedo, have given up the most goals this year, and they've had a whole year to get better. It just hasn't happened. They're holding up the rest of the table, and they have 7 points on the table. 6 of those points came in the last 5 games. So they have been even worse. They just happen to be in form now, and it's still number 20 on the table. So to me, my most disappointing team of the year is Girona. Sorry.
If they'll probably, this is going to be their year they go down, unless there's a drastic turn after the winter window. But I just don't see it. They are really bad. And I remember the first like 3 or 4 matches, if you recall, I can't remember which one it was, but I was like, yeah, I'm calling it now. Like they're going down. That's how early that they just looked like crap. And they haven't changed. You're right. They have not changed. Okay, so we differ there. MVP, as far as the quarter awards go, it wouldn't have been the first quarter of last season, if you recall, but Mbappe is the MVP for me going into the second quarter of this La Liga season. Mbappe has just been on a tear, 11 goals already. And I know we're giving Erling Haaland all the plaudits because he has 11 goals in the Prem and he's doing great things and much higher. Mbappe's the same way in La Liga, but no one's, just because I think it's expected. Like they think he should have more. But either way, he didn't start off. Last season was his first season, but new coach in Madrid, and he's doing it. I guess he's doing well for him, and he's the top scorer, leading the Golden Boot. And not only that, but the eye test is better. Last season, he scored a lot of goals, and the team didn't look right. This year, they look right, and Mbappe looks right, Vic.
Well, we do agree on this one. That's my MVP as well. Mbappe has more than twice as many goals as the next person, looking amazing, making a name for himself. He already is a name. I don't have to say that part, but yeah, he's looking absolutely stellar, and hats off to you. MVP for me too.
Yeah, he's great. It's like, what can you say? It's like saying that, like the best, like Messi is good. Yeah, we know. Yeah. It's like it's crazy how the La Liga seamlessly transitioned from like Messi and Ronaldo to now it's like Mbappe and Yamal, like how do they always do that? It just Okay, those are our next big players, I guess. We'll just follow those guys. And that's the quarter awards for La Liga. That didn't take too much time, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Hey, congrats, guys. Congrats. I know we'll send them in the mail. Okay, now let's jump into the match day 11, Vic.
Let's do it. Here are your matches for La Liga match day 11. I couldn't figure out which way I wanted to say that. And it starts off Friday with my most disappointing team of the season, Girona, going on the road to take on Getafe.
Crazy to say it, but I think Getafe would have to be favorites here to win at home against bottom of the table Girona. Neither side have been particularly great lately, but just feels like the universe is against Girona at the moment.
And that's our only match for Friday. We go to Saturday as Rayo Vallecano go on the road to take on Villarreal.
Rayo actually come into this matchup in better form with 3 straight La Liga wins, but on the road at El Ceramica is a tough task for anyone. Villarreal get a well-deserved win over Valencia last time out, so let's see if they can keep the train rolling.
And our next matchup has Sevilla going on the road to take on Atletico Madrid.
It's been a tough couple of weeks for Sevilla, losing to Mallorca and Real Sociedad, 2 teams that have been terrible, and of course, my most disappointing team. And it won't get much easier as they head to Madrid to take on Atleti, who've won back-to-back and 4 of their last 5. Atleti seem to have turned the corner this season, but this matchup will tell us a lot.
And our next matchup is the Basque Derby as Athletic Club go on the road to take on Real Sociedad.
It's the first Basque Derby of the season, and it's not even the headliner for the day. That should tell you all you need to know about the state of these 2 clubs coming in. Athletic Club are just above mid-table in 9th, and Real Sociedad are just above the relegation zone in 17th. There haven't been many wins for either side this year, but the good news for La Real is that Kubo is back in training, and I read that he should be good to go for this match.
And we close out our Saturday as the fresh off of El Clasico. I see you just wrote down, my bad. But fresh off El Clasico, Real Madrid are taking on a lowly Valencia.
And they're the team to beat. Real Madrid, that is. In Spain after winning El Clasico. They're riding 3 straight wins and now get a Valencia team at the Bernabeu that have lost 3 of their last 5 in La Liga. I don't think this one's going to be particularly close, Vic.
And then we open up our Sunday as Celta Vigo go on the road to a newly promoted team that's trying to stay afloat, Levante.
Levante are stuck with a bunch of teams on 9 points who are all jockeying to stay out of the last relegation spot. And before last weekend, Celta were right there with them. But after Celta got their first win last weekend, they'll look to keep that good vibes rolling and hopefully stack up some wins. This team's been too good to not have won a game until recently.
And speaking of the good vibes rolling, Espanyol are trying to keep their good vibes rolling as they take on Alaves.
Espanyol are the surprise team of the season for me anyways. And now that Elche have fallen back down to earth a bit, and they'll hope that they don't suffer the same fate as they go on the road to take on a mid-table Alaves side who have not been great. Can Espanyol keep it up? We'll find out.
And our next matchup has my most impressive team of the year as Elche go on the road to take on Barcelona and Snooze. They're going to show you why they're the best, most surprising team of the year.
Barcelona are in great. I feel bad for what I'm about to say. That Barcelona are in a great get-right spot after losing to Real Madrid because they get Elche at home. Elche were the feel-good club of the year, but have now only won once in their last 5 La Liga matches. From an Elche point of view, though, it's a tough time to get a Barca side who are just coming off of a El Clasico loss and probably going to be pissed.
And then we close out our Sunday as Mallorca go on the road to take on Real Betis.
Real Betis get a second home game in a row, and they'll look to make their fans proud again. After losing to Atleti on Monday, Mallorca were stuck at the bottom of the table for a while, but have started to come back alive a bit lately. Betis should have enough to get 3 points here, though.
And then we have Monday Night Football, and it's a battle of the O's. Oviedo welcoming Osasuna.
Oviedo are the lone promoted side in the bottom 3 at the moment, and they haven't played well, but they get Osasuna, who also haven't played well. They've lost back-to-back games coming in. You would think that Osasuna can get it done, but strange things happen on Monday nights.
And that's your matchup or match day for La Liga match day 11. I still can't figure out how to say that. But let's go ahead and tell you our No Business Soccer podcast top matches to watch for La Liga match day 11. And it starts with number 1, of course, the Basque Derby, Athletic Club going to Real Sociedad.
Right. If you can't catch all the matches over this weekend, we're going to give you the top ones to watch. And you might think, why the Bass Derby? Well, it's because these teams do not like each other, and they're usually fun matches to watch. Even if they're not doing that good, the stadiums will be packed. The energy will be off the charts. And how can we not be hyped about the Bass Derby? Even with both teams coming in riding the struggle bus, I think it just makes this match harder to call. Even more at stake. Either Athletic Club keep falling towards mid-table, or Real Sociedad get booted back to the relegation zone. Either way, both these sides are going to be gunning for the win.
Yeah, and it's this, as much fun as it is to see the top teams trying to get number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5. It's really fun seeing those teams trying to stay out of the relegation zone as well. So that's what I'm excited to see for Real Sociedad this weekend and see how they do against Athletic.
And there's no better way than, you're struggling and then to get going whenever you beat your arch enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Exactly. And then we go to our second matchup for your top matches, match day 11, and that is Villarreal welcoming Rayo Vallecano.
I might be cursing Rayo here because every time I have them on the matches to watch list, they end up losing. But coming in on 3 straight wins when Villarreal have been beatable lately, I don't think this one will be as straightforward as some Yellow Submarine fans will have you think. But it is on the road. Let's see if Rayo is still that scrappy side from last season. I think they are.
Yeah, and Rayo, I think they have 14 points sitting on the number 7 spot, just outside the European spots. They are below Real Betis with 16, and then goes to 18. So there's a huge gap there that they really need some points for in order to try to compete for those European spots. And once those gaps get a little bit smaller, it gets really interesting up there. But right now, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's starting to gap out a little bit more if you don't count Real Madrid, obviously, because they're 27. But, it gets more interesting that way. And hopefully they can get a win this weekend.
So you're for parity. You want Rayo to win, so it's more chaos in the table for the season.
Chaos. Yeah.
All right.
I'm giving up.
Okay. Captain Chaos over here.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other match that I didn't put on the list, but I think is very interesting, is that Barcelona versus Elche match. I know that we talked about it differing, but if Elche are the team that held Athletic Club to a draw, I think that it would be pretty cool. And Barcelona, I mean, yes, they have a style that can be beaten. Elche, they don't sit back, though. They don't just let the team take the game to them. It could be a very fun one. I just didn't have the heart to put it on there because then I put it on there and Elche gets blown out. So I'm just letting you know before we get out of here. That's probably going to be a fun match to watch. Okay. Anything else, Vic?
Got nothing else. All good.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's finish this episode up by going to England.
Let's do it to the Prem. The pain, the Prem.
The pain, the Prem. Even pain from the Carabao Cup this week. I mean, wasn't good for both of us.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway, Spurs lost too, so not a fun time. No. But hey, maybe some goodness will come from this match day. How about that?
Let's see. Let's go ahead and dig into it then, as we have Premier League match day 10. And here are your matches. It starts on Saturday as Crystal Palace welcome Brentford.
It's a table neighbors clash when Brentford go to Selhurst Park to take on Crystal Palace. It wasn't long ago that Brentford were 17th and Palace were on a 19-match unbeaten streak. Now Brentford are up to 11th and Palace have lost 3 of their last 5.
And our next matchup on Saturday has Manchester United in a prime position to keep the winning ways going as they take on the lowly Nottingham Forest.
This is the first layup that United get in this 3-match winning streak. A Forest side who are on their 3rd manager in the first 10 games of the season and have lost 4 straight Premier League matches. It should be an easy 3 for the streaking United, and there's not many times we've been able to say that.
And I would say, speaking of layup, we have Arsenal going on the road to take on Burnley, but Burnley have won 2 straight, looking to keep in form.
Tough luck for Burnley as they welcome Arsenal to Turf Moor after winning back-to-back matches, as Vic mentioned. Arsenal are clear front runners for the title, and a slip up against a promoted side like Burnley just doesn't seem likely at the moment.
And then we have the newly promoted Leeds United going on the road to take on Brighton.
Brighton looked to bounce back from the loss to United, and they get Leeds, who just beat West Ham. You would think that Brighton have enough to get this one done, but Leeds are scrappy.
And we'll see. And then we have a bottom of the table matchup after that as Fulham welcome Wolverhampton.
Fulham looked like a team headed for a relegation scrap. And so this matchup with Wolves, who are the first name on the relegation team sheet, if that was a thing, is so important. Wolves are imploding and the fans are turning against them. If Fulham can't get 3 points here, they might as well be doomed.
And our next matchup has a battle of the Blues as Chelsea go on the road to take on Tottenham.
Chelsea head to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, having just lost to Sunderland last weekend, which means they've now lost 3 of their last 5 in the Prem. But Spurs have been terrible at home recently. I saw a stat. It was like 3 wins in the last 18 home matches. That is absolutely disgusting. And history shows that they struggle against Chelsea in the Prem. Spurs have won 1 time in the Prem against Chelsea in their last 13 matches, and they've lost 10 of those 13. So it is not a good time for Spurs anytime they see Chelsea on the schedule.
And then we close our Saturday as Liverpool welcome Aston Villa, or I'm going to call them the Monstars. Aston Villa are on a 4-game win streak. Liverpool on a 4-game lose streak. Something happened there. A
month ago, this would have been Liverpool as favorites by a considerable margin, but now Aston Villa are one of the hottest teams in the Prem, and Liverpool can't stop losing. Last weekend's Villa match against City was the first test, test for me to see if Villa have actually turned things around, and yes, they have. They answered that test flyingly? That's not a thing. With flying colors. Fright-en-ing-ly. They answered that test. Anyway, I think it'll be a tough one for Liverpool to win. But if they could just not lose the match, Vic, I'm sure you take that as well.
Definitely will. But that will close out our Saturday. We open up Sunday as West Ham welcome Newcastle.
Newcastle are starting to find their way in the Prem, winning 2 of their last 3 matches, and they get a great chance to win back-to-back as they get the hapless West Ham United. Plus, Newcastle just knocked out Spurs from the Carabao Cup, so the vibes are good there.
And then we continue our Sunday with the top 5 matchup as Manchester City and number 5 welcome a surprising number 2 in Bournemouth.
Vic, I am all kinds of excited to see how this one plays out. Bournemouth have been one of the best teams in the Prem, and I can't even call them a surprise anymore because they've been so consistent this season. They've slipped up recently, drawing 3 of their last 5, but in this matchup with City on the road, I think a point for Bournemouth would suit them just fine. City, on the other hand, need to get a win to get back on track because Arsenal's already 5 points clear of them at the top of the table. But man, Bournemouth, City, going to be fun. We might talk about this one as a headline. I don't know. Let's find out.
And then we have Monday Night Football as Everton go on the road to take on the surprisingly newly promoted Sunderland.
Why is Everton always on Monday night games? I was going to ask Danny P. It feels like they're always the team that's on Monday. If anyone knows, please let us know. But either way, it's going to be a fun one here. We get a new hotness in Sunderland trying to break up the trend of sorry sides getting what did you say? Something funny? I heard it's like
pinged us, said America's team, baby. That's why.
America's team for Danny P. That's what he's telling me. All right, okay, cool. But anyway, Sunderland trying to break up the sorry promoted sides against Everton, who have been in decent form this season, but have fallen off of late with back-to-back losses in the Prem. If Sunderland could get a result here, they're almost certainly not worried about relegation anymore. And I believe if they get 20 points, that might be one of the best runs by a newly promoted side in years.
Puro pinche Sunderland. That is right.
Hey.
Power, baby. Let's go. But those are your matches for match day 10 of the Premier League. We're going to go ahead and tell you about the No Business Soccer podcast, top matches and headlines for the Premier League this match day. And it all starts number 1, number 5 versus number 2. I'm saying too many numbers. Man City taking on Bournemouth.
It's a surprise top 5 matchup when Bournemouth traveled to the Etihad to take on Manchester City. I don't think many people saw this type of run for the Cherries. If they can get a result on the road against City, this would be massive.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I want to see how far.
Vic, who you got in that one?
I mean, I'm never going for City, so Bournemouth.
Okay, oh yeah, fair enough. I think I'm going for Bournemouth too, just because I mean, there's no way they can keep this up, but they are, and I don't know. But if they lose and Spurs win. And that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, whatever. We're not winning.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Speaking of Spurs, we'll go to our number 2 spot as our number 2 matchup to watch out for this weekend is Tottenham welcoming Chelsea.
Spurs come into this matchup 3rd in the table, and it is time they start acting like it, Vic. against a mid-table Chelsea team. I know Chelsea don't fear Spurs. I just talked about all of the reasons why, all the history that shows why they shouldn't fear Spurs and why they should. They should be beating them because they've done it so many times in a row in the Prem. It's not even funny, but I think Spurs need to make a statement win here, and it would turn things around. The only problem is no one's scoring goals for Spurs at the moment.
Gave up Harry Kane, who thinks Bundesliga is too easy.
I know, right?
But I'm sorry, Snooze. I'm gonna have to go with Chelsea on that one. Just out of pure points. That's the only reason why. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean the stats show that it'll be damn near impossible for Spurs to get that win, just because we're in such a bad form at home, and they just own us. I mean, it's not even fun. I can't even remember the last time they won. I mean, I can look at the stats and say it, but I don't remember that match. It's just so far, like 13. Oh no, what was it? We've won once in 13 matches. I mean, crazy.
That, and y'all are tied with Sunderland. Y'all are number 3 and 4. Sunderland's number 4. To see Sunderland go a little bit higher in the table because they're getting 3 points this weekend. They have a layup, and Tottenham, if they can maybe just get 1 point, Sunderland will jump.
That's fine. I'll take a draw against Chelsea. That's fine.
But then we'll go ahead and go on to our number 3 matchup, a Premier League match day 10 that your boys at the No Business Soccer podcast will be watching, and that is my team, Liverpool, taking on Aston Villa.
It's 6 defeats in 7 games for Liverpool, and I just can't see them continuing to lose at this rate. Villa have been good, yes, but they aren't invincible, and Liverpool they have to get it going. There's just no other way about it. If this is 5 straight losses for Slot in the Prem, I can't even fathom that, honestly. So yeah, this is a must win. They've all been must wins, but I feel like you can't lose 5 in a row. You cannot do that.
Well, I agree. We can't do that. That'd be nice if we don't do that. And like I said, when we were going through the match days, the past, I don't know if we have the table, if we can bring it up. If not, I'll just tell you guys. Liverpool are number 7, Aston Villa. Hey, we do right there. Aston Villa number 8. You can see where they swap, right? Where we start a losing streak and Aston Villa get the winning streak. They took our talent,
true.
like the Monstars. Like the Monstars. They took our talent.
That's what you meant.
Yeah.
That's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah. Those Monstars.
Yeah.
They took our talent. And if they jump us, I'm going to be pissed. So
that'll be pretty crazy if that happens. I don't know if I've said it on the show. Maybe I said it last time, but I'm going to the Spurs-Liverpool match in December. And, I'd appreciate y'all continuing to not be good. That'd be great for viewing purposes from my end. But, I have a feeling that you're like, oh, wait, by the time we get to that match, Liverpool have won 10 straight and are back at the top of the table. And I'm like, all right, cool. I guess
you're right. I hope for that just as well. I hope for that as well, Steve.
No, I'm not hoping for that. I'm not hoping. I didn't say I hope that. I'm saying I don't want that to happen. But honestly, I thought that Villa would lose to City last week, and they end up beating them. So we'll see how this turns out. It's not looking good, though, Vic. It is not looking good.
No, it is not. We will see. Let's see.
Who'd y'all lose to in the Carabao Cup?
Lost to Crystal Palace again. They beat us in every single league that I think it can be played.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus,
I think that's right. I always talk about it. We need to like partner up with The Athletic already.
Yeah.
But I listened to their podcast, and they were showing they were playing audio from the match where the Crystal Palace fans were singing, "Can we play y'all every week?" That's so messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, no. Whenever
they
lost,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, whenever we lost last, I'm like, oh my god, who's our next match? Crystal Palace. Shit. Yeah,
we're gonna lose again.
We can't get a break. Oh well.
After that chant, they also chanted, "You're getting sacked in the morning," which is a classic British. Your coach sucks type of thing. Your manager sucks. But that's not. I mean, Slot waved to him. He was laughing. It was all banter, mate. But anyway, I can't bring myself to think of this team losing 5 in a row, and so I'm going for Liverpool just because I mean honestly, it just doesn't compute in my brain that would be something that this team that was so dominant last season could do. It just can't. It can't happen.
I forgot to bring that up last time. What was Man City's losing streak?
Yeah. They had it was like an 8 or 9. It was like 8 or 9. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, we're probably trying to. I mean, we won the league after them. I bet we're trying to get a losing streak.
yeah. We're trying to do everything they do.
Just real quick. We have Aston Villa, who are surging right now. After that, we have Real Madrid, and then we have Man City after that, which is always a tough thing. It's not very good. Dude.
Wow, that is crazy. That's a crazy run right there. I was going to mention, too, before we get out of here, that on that same podcast, they were talking about Sunderland and their ridiculous start to the season. And I think it was one of the supporters, but he's a supporter of Sunderland, but he's also covers them from The Athletic. And he was saying how when the schedule first came out for Sunderland, they felt like it was pretty easy, not an easy schedule, but it was light. I guess they say they were excited because they felt like they could get in front of things with a lot of points. Obviously, nobody expected this type of run, like a top 3 run. But you reminded me of it when you were talking about Liverpool's matches. So I wanted to take a look real quick just to see where they are, because they said that before Christmas, or like going into Christmas time or the holidays, whatever, the Chelsea match was the start of their run of bad teams. And so if you look at, if you look at their first matches, they had West Ham, Burnley, Brentford, Palace, Villa, Forest, United, Wolves. Not too many great teams there. But coming up, they have and Chelsea. Chelsea was the one, but they ended up beating Chelsea, so that was good. But now they have Everton, Arsenal, Fulham, Bournemouth, Liverpool, City, Newcastle. Like it gets significantly tougher going into December. So good thing they stacked up those points, because they're probably not going to get too many from Arsenal, Liverpool, Bournemouth, City, Newcastle, Brighton. That is a brutal run of games going into Christmas. But anyway, just wanted to bring that up because I heard it on the podcast, but I hadn't looked at their schedule yet. And seems like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for adding Liverpool to that list.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. By then they'll probably be on their 7-match winning streak already. So, okay. Look at us. We're over an hour already. I think it's time to get out of here. DJ, play our music. Vic, take us home.
Thanks again, everyone, for spending some time with us and talking about some European football. Be sure to follow us on everything. Everything's at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter. That is at No Biz Soc Pod. Hey, it's going to be an awesome weekend. It's Halloween weekend and some great freaking football. Enjoy it, and we will talk to you all very soon.
Peace.